Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Kelly Johnson. I am the Chief Engagement Officer here at the Rothko Chapel, where we weave together creativity, spirituality, and justice to inspire, sustain, and strengthen communities here in Houston and beyond. Welcome to our special concert this evening, Rothko and Mozart, Balance of Emotion and Form, exploring the deep connections between these two incredible artists. As you can read further in your program, Mark Rothko was a true Mozart fan, and he famously stated, "I became a painter because I wanted to raise painting to the level of poignancy of music and poetry," which we believe he did here in this space. The Rothko Chapel opened 55 years ago in 1971 as a sacred space featuring these monumental plum-colored paintings surrounding us, created by Latvian-American artist Mark Rothko. This unique artwork, along with the architectural environment, inspires quiet reflection and contemplation, and we're open Tuesday through Sunday for visitation, prayer, and meditation. In addition, as you came in, you likely saw the iconic sculpture on the plaza called The Broken Obelisk by Barnett Newman, which is dedicated to the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as a visual reminder of the collective work we need to do together to create true beloved community. I'd like to thank our event partners tonight, including Austrian Cultural Forum New York and the International Mozarteum Foundation in Salzburg, who we have representatives of with us here today, and they'll share more about the artists as well as the special violin you'll hear tonight. I'd also like to thank tonight's event supporters, Gerald Seidel, Michelle Lanou, and Peter and Maria Anna Galitzin. We could not have made this program happen without you all. Thank you so much. For a bit of logistics, to honor the sacred space in our time together, let's go ahead and all silence our cell phones. You can even turn them off. And I'd like to ask you also to please refrain from taking videos or photography inside the sanctuary. We will be documenting this performance and posting it on our YouTube channel after this event. A few more quick items here. If you need water or restrooms, they're going to be available across the street through our garden at our visitor welcome house. And with that, now please join me in sharing a very warm welcome to Rothko Chapel President Imam Abdullah Entepli.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Thank you, everyone. Good evening. What a great honor and pleasure to see Mozart and Mark Rothko intersect in this beautiful sacred space. As you heard from my colleague Kelly Johnson, Mark Rothko was obsessed with Mozart. It is in a most loving and meaningful sense. As I hear from his children, living children, that's all he listened to when he was painting as much as possible. One wouldn't exaggerate to say Mark Rothko's paintings, in essence, as a manifestation of Mozart's music. In so many ways, Mozart's heavenly, timeless music was one of the main inspirations for Mark Rothko to create the kind of art that takes you to a much deeper reflection, contemplation, and meditation, and it leads to moral action as much as possible. In the tradition, in Islamic Muslim tradition that I grew up with, I would like to share a very brief, really Sufi mystic story that really encapsulates the connection between Mozart and Mark Rothko. The Sufis, the mystics of my tradition, they say in the beginning of life, when God created all the creatures, the birds didn't have wings. They didn't know how to fly. Like all the animals, they were just walking around on the earth. And one day, God descends from heaven and gathers all the birds and play music. God plays melodies from the heaven. Out of hearing this divine music, the birds were so moved, and when God went back to the heavens, out of that intense desire, wanting to hear that music again, the birds spread wings. The birds spread wings and learned how to fly because they wanted to be as high as possible, as close as possible, to be in tune with the heavenly music as much as possible. In so many ways, for Mark Rothko, Mozart's music was that heavenly music. Mozart's music, this timeless, to me, sacred music, helped Mark Rothko to spread wings, learn, and manifest itself in this incredibly transformative art. Let's listen to this music in that spirit to see what that music, both literally and figuratively, could do to us. Let's go beyond the ears of the body and eyes of the body, and try to hear and see and listen to the music with the ears of the soul, eyes of the soul, to see what kind of figurative and literal wings we can gain and fly together. You are up for an intellectual, spiritual, and artistic treat. Join me in welcoming now my friend Johannes, all the way from, from Suzanne, all the way from New York, as much as possible. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear audience, I'm Susanne Kepler-Schlesinger, the director of the Austrian Cultural Forum New York, and together with my husband Thomas Schlesinger, the Austrian Consul General of Austria to New York, we are both very, very happy to be here with you tonight on this splendid day. I will start my words of welcome with a quote by another iconic American artist, Miles Davis, and he said, "A painting is music that you can see, and music is a painting you can hear." What better place can we imagine than this wonderful meditative space to prove that visual arts and music have enhanced and inspired each other today, but also over many centuries. Mark Rothko, as we just heard, chose Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart as his musical companion when creating his magnificent canvases, and for good reason. Mozart's timeless compositions cover the broadest range of emotions, from jubilant joy to utmost sorrow. And these melodies are as relevant and as fresh and as modern in today's world as they were 250 years ago. Mozart and Rothko, a truly congenial pair. Let us celebrate tonight Mark Rothko's art in this splendid setting, and only a few weeks after Mozart's 270th birthday. For this occasion, we have invited a very special guest from Salzburg, Austria. This guest was flown in to Houston only yesterday via New York. It is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's favorite violin, built by Pietro Antonio dalla Costa in the 1700s. A violin that is owned and lovingly taken care of by the International Mozart Foundation Salzburg. And I would like to use this moment to draw your attention to a very special exhibition that was just a few days ago opened in New York in the Morgan Library and Museum. It is, I think, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to experience the full range of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's life and work, because two exemplary collections have come together. It is for the first time ever that the most precious exhibits of the Mozart museums in Salzburg have left Salzburg since the establishment of the collection in 1882. So if you plan to go to New York until the end of May, please also plan a visit of this museum, because I think it will be a long time until we have the opportunity to see this broad range of scores, letters, paintings, instruments that were owned by Mozart himself, including his child's violin, a very small, fragile instrument. The Mozart violin that we will see and hear very soon will appear in this room in the hands of Olivia De Prato. Olivia De Prato is an Austrian-Italian violinist. She will be accompanied on the piano by Mia Elezovic. Mia comes from Croatia. Both musicians have been honored with important awards and both studied music in New York together. This is where they became friends, and they also studied in Vienna, Austria. And it is very important for me to tell you that Olivia and Mia are also fervent champions of contemporary music, in particular of pieces written by female composers. And I can tell you that the compositions of Ingrid Laubrock and Missy Mazzoli will literally rock with our 262-year-old dalla Costa violin. Dear audience, let me now extend my gratitude to Christopher Rothko and the board of the Rothko Chapel for having invited us tonight, to the president, Mr. Abdullah Antepli, and also Ms. Kelly Johnson. Kelly Johnson has accompanied us along the way, and a special gratitude goes, of course, to Gerald Seidel and his wife, Michelle Lanou. Gerald Seidel has been driving this project along with love and dedication, and this wonderful couple also generously supports this project. Gerald Seidel is our honorary consul of Austria in Houston, super active, very well connected. And I also would like to acknowledge the generous support of Piotr and Maria Anna Galizin, here in the first row. And ladies and gentlemen, I conclude by thanking the president of the Mozarteum Foundation, Mr. Johannes Honsig Erlenburg, Linus Klumpner, and Deborah Gatewood of the International Foundation as well, for having enthusiastically supported this project right from the start. They have made the presence of the violin here tonight possible. I will conclude by turning it over to Johannes Honsig Erlenburg. Thank you.
Suzanne, thank you so much. To continue to say thank you, Abdullah, we met now the moment, and from the first moment on there was a very near relationship. Thank you, the board. Thank you, Gerald Seidel, that you made it possible. It's challenging to travel with the instrument from Salzburg to New York and from New York to Houston and back tomorrow. And I have to get up in the morning 3 because I have a call in my office at home. So, but this is, we do it with passion, and it's worth to do it, because it's worth to listen to Mozart and to be here. I have to say I'm deeply moved. 20 years ago, it was my first confrontation in a good way with Rothko Chapel, the Morton Feldman piece, Rothko Chapel. It was performed in the Mozarteum in Salzburg together with Mozart's Requiem. An otherworldly piece, bringing me in another world, in another atmosphere, not knowing that 20 years later I will be here. And this is a great, great pleasure and a great honor. Thank you so much. So this situation with the Morton Feldman piece, I want to, only one word. I remember the head of the choir, he said, what a piece, what a background. And now realizing what it is with the paintings, with this space, with this architecture, it's really, in a way, moving me so that the Mozart world is not the only world we are in. It's the world of coming together, what has to come together. So here, this space, this chapel, spirituality, art and culture, and bringing the Mozart violin, this authentical instrument, being performed by these wonderful musicians Suzanne mentioned, is a symbiosis. It's a symbiosis in between the Rothko world and the Mozart world. And I read a little bit about Rothko and Mozart, and there's this wonderful book of Christopher with the title, I have to look for, sorry. My Father in Music, How Mark Rothko's love of Mozart made his painting sing, And only a few phrases out of this book. The Alpha and the Omega. I focus here on Mozart, the alpha and the omega for Rothko, Christopher said. It was Mozart's compositions that moved my father and in which he found the stylistic and formal principles and more especially the means of articulating ideas that would influence the development of his own artistic language. And to sum it up and finalize, and this is so wonderful, Rothko and Mozart, the word of emotional contradiction. When asked about his feeling of kindship with Mozart, my father replied that he understood Mozart because the composer was always smiling through tears. This image, like a rainbow that shines while the rain is falling, captures precisely the naughty emotional world where Rothko paintings dwell. And to come back to the symbiosis, it's not a coincidence that Rothko and Mozart had this very intimate relationship. And it's not a coincidence that Mozart's violin is here, performed, and is, as I said before, it's a full fulfillment of what belongs together. And let me finish with my personal Mozart companion phrase. I remember I was in a concert years ago at the Mozarteum, the same hall where the Morton Feldman piece was performed with Requiem, and Mitsuko Uchida, a wonderful piano player from Japan, said to me after the concert, listen, I can't live without Mozart because he never leaves me alone. And this is wonderful, he never leaves me alone. And what does this mean? And if you go in this music, it can go up and down, but he always brings us back to the light. He never leaves us alone. And it's a little bit maybe pathetic, but the 270th birthday of Mozart, so the present we can bring and Mozart can bring to Mark Rothko is he never leaves us alone. Thank you so much.
Thank you for those beautiful words. And now, please welcome on the violin, Olivia De Prato, and on the piano, Mia Elezovic.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming here tonight for such a special event. And thank you to the Rothko Chapel and through the Austrian Cultural Forum for inviting us to come play for you here tonight. When I was thinking about the program for tonight, of course we wanted to present the beautiful Mozart sonatas, but it was also important for me to pair it with some contemporary works, music of today. And these two pieces that we picked is, one of them is by Ingrid Laubruck. She's a wonderful jazz saxophone player and composer. She's originally from Germany, but has been living in New York City almost all her life. And this is a collection of koans. She actually just recently released her album of 60 koans. Those are all inspired by texts by poet Erica Hunt. And we'll be playing 6 of them tonight. They were originally written for voice and piano, but I transcribed it for violin and piano. And Mia has some magic to do in the piano that you will hear in a second. So yes, I hope you enjoy these koans by Ingrid Laubruck.
This next contemporary piece that you'll hear is written by American composer Missy Mazzoli. She's one of the most successful vocalists today and one of the first women to receive a commission from the Metropolitan Opera for the forthcoming Lincoln in the Bardo, premiering this October. A Thousand Tongues was commissioned by cellist and vocalist Jody Redhage and rearranged in the special version you'll hear tonight for violinist Olivia De Prato, a longtime collaborator. This piece is a short but intense musical response to the brief, enigmatic 1895 poem by American poet and novelist Stephen Crane on the soul's struggle to speak truth amid the thousand voices of doubt and deception. The poem reads, "Yes, I have 1,000 tongues, and 999 lie. Though I strive to use the one, it will make no melody at my will, but it is dead in my mouth." thank you all for your presence tonight at this very special occasion. Before we head out to our reception, I want to ask you to follow the Rothko Chapel on social media, subscribe to our e-newsletter. You can learn about more exciting music programs we have coming up, and we look forward to hosting you again soon. Please enjoy the evening outside on our plaza for the reception. Thank you.